This little girl pays income tax. She saves with the Building Society, where income tax is automatically deducted from her interest. While with Lloyd's Young Savers account, she'd receive her interest in full, without paying a penny in tax. The Black Horse Young Savers account from Lloyd's.
I love my cat Tiger, and I give him the best. I give him whiskers. He likes the jelly, he likes the meat, he just likes everything about it. The smell is good, the texture's good. I prefer it for Tiger, and Tiger loves it for himself. I count value for money very important, and Whiskers is value for money because there is never, ever any waste, either in the can or on the plate. I recommend Whiskers to everyone who has a cat. I don't know what I'd do without it, quite honestly.
Happy with your wash?
Of course.
What about close-up?
Well, it's not perfect, but you can't shift dirt like this, especially shoe polish, without boiling. And I can't boil wash Anne's nylon socks.
You need Ariel Automatic. It washes close-up clean even when you don't boil wash.
Marks like this? Prove it.
Okay, let's choose a low temperature and wash 2 dirty socks. Now see these shoe polish marks? Look at them close up and watch that dirt lift out. Ariel Automatic's advanced biological formula removes dirt that ordinary powders leave behind, even without boiling.
It's true. This sock's completely clean. And look, the front of Jackie's play suit, the cuffs of Anne's school shirt. Everything I can't boil is so much cleaner.
With Ariel Automatic, you can wash close-up clean even when you don't boil wash.
Reader's Digest have announced their biggest ever prize draw. Watch your post for an envelope like this. If you're lucky enough to get one, you could win one of more than 1,800 prizes, including the biggest ever first prize of £40,000. Just send in your entry right away. You could win this £40,000 cheque. Good luck.
Morning, John.
Morning, George. Morning, Mrs. B. She busy this morning?
Yeah, I'm just making us a Nor quick soup. Do you fancy one? Chicken and mushroom, all right?
Lovely.
Soup's ready. No?
What's she doing today?
Washing.
Oh. No quick soup. Delicious soup in a...
The Raiders of the Pop Charts are here. 2 action-packed albums including Madness, Haircut 100, Shakin' Stevens and Kid Creole and the Coconuts. Raiders of the Pop Charts. Just buy part 1 and get part 2 free with Culture Club. The Pretenders, Modern Romance and many more. Raiders of the Pop Charts from Ronco. 2 records or cassettes. Buy 1, get 1 free.
Your travel agent now has the new Nova Summer Holiday Brochure. Drop in and get one.
It's arrived. New Ultra Bright. With the brighter new taste. Take Lynn. New Ultra Bright made her smile so ultra white, ultra fresh. It got her noticed. That night, rugged racing driver Hugo Faster showed Lynn some superb handling. They've been making record time ever since. Try the brighter new taste of Ultra Bright. For a smile so ultra white, it gets you noticed.
When dressed-up dames chance their arm for them, a gentleman will use his charm for them. Can't resist them, Cadbury's cream eggs. If maids on high heave a sigh for them, gallant men will respond. It's hello, then goodbye for them. And they end in the pond.
Cadbury's cream eggs are back in your shops again. But hurry, they won't last forever.
Can't resist them, Cadbury's cream eggs. Can you?
Hi. Is a Bovril a day helping keep your tribe on its toes? Bovril is made from pure natural ingredients and contains real beef extract. No artificial preservatives, only 17 calories a mug. We have old saying, for delicious beefy taste, no other drink is Apache on Bovril.
For goodness sake, give your tribe Bovril, and here's how.
Just try one. If you don't like it, it's easy to give up.
Uh-oh, nicotine. I'd better move fast. Up and away!
Go on, kid, go on.
It's Superman! Superman, is it hard to give up smoking, or is it easy like nicotine says?
You no good windbag, nicotine.
No, Superman. Leave me one. Please, I need one. Just...
That's how hard it is, and that's why I never say yes to a cigarette.
For your free Pontins Home and Abroad brochure with free children offer, ask the operator now for free phone 9099.
Choosing the perfect razor is perfectly simple, because any razor is only as good as the blade, and there are no finer blades than Wilkinson's sword. So whichever razor you choose, you simply have to look for that name. Wilkinson's sword, the name on the world's finest blades.
Indigestion? Beat it with Bicidol. Bicidol helps reduce excess acid to quickly soothe stomach discomfort. It aids digestion too. So for rapid indigestion relief, take Bicidol. Bicidol beats indigestion. Fast.
You feel much more alive. You'll enjoy the longest drive. You're never out of place. You've got a lot more space. You get a smoother ride. You can take it in your stride. You're traveling in style. It's cheaper now for a mile. It's surprising what you save in a five. Drive a five from alive in a five.
If you want a filling cereal, the answer's written clear. It says Weetabix.
Yeah! This is a filling station.
It'll fill you up to here!
We're the Weetabix.
A titchy tiny breakfast won't help you start the day.
You make it neat, wheat baked. If you know what's good for you, you do.
Okay.
The Weetabix. If you know what's good for you. Okay.
Harrods sale starts this Friday, cutting the cost of £500,000 of furniture by half, cutting the cost of £200,000 of Chinese carpets and rugs by half. Harrods sale simply cuts the cost of gracious living, starting this Friday.
Hello! If you're fast enough for Atari's missile command, just wait till you get your hands on Yar's Revenge and our latest new challenge, Berserk.
Here, you have a go.
Oh, thanks.
It's a pleasure.
Atari. Simply more fun and games.
Once upon a time, there was a book full of people longing to be heard. Then a witch turned it into Storyteller, a collection of books with 45-minute cassettes so children can listen while they read The Shoe Tree.
Our trees grow in boots.
The Hare and the Tortoise.
Hare raced away.
The continuing adventures of Gobblino.
And fished Gobblino out, dripping wet.
Fortnightly, with 7 complete stories, Storyteller turns into a unique children's library. Storyteller. Such a good idea. It speaks for itself.
Magic!
Peugeot Talbot and their dealers are transforming car buying with their fair deal promise. Now when you buy a new car from any Peugeot Talbot dealer, the price you see is the price you'll pay to drive away. With delivery, number plates, 6 months tax and a tank of fuel all included, plus the unique double cover of extra care and 6-year anti-corrosion warranties. With all this, the new Talbot Solara 1.3 LE costs just $4,295 and the new Peugeot 305 GL Estate just $4,995. It's a better way to buy a car.
And that's a promise.
From your Peugeot Talbot dealer. So talk to him now.
Whenever I get hungry, my magic takes on a special twist. Kellogg's Super Noodles. A twist of the wrist. And it's bangers with a twist. or burgers, and sometimes, whoops, it's fish with a twist. The magic is in just 4 minutes, Super Noodles twist to something irresistible. Kellogg's Super Noodles at a Super Twister mealtimes.
If you want a filling cereal, the answer's written clear. It says Weetabix.
Yeah! This is a filling station.
It'll fill you up to here.
We're the Weetabix.
A titchy tiny breakfast won't help you start the day.
You make it neat, wheat, mate. If you know what's good for you, you do.
Okay.
The Weetabix. If you know what's good for you. Okay.
Harrods sale starts this Friday, cutting the cost of £500,000 of furniture by half, cutting the cost of £200,000 of Chinese carpets and rugs by half. Harrods sale simply cuts the cost of gracious living, starting this Friday.
Hello!
If you're fast enough for Atari's missile command, just wait till you get your hands on Yar's Revenge and our latest new challenge, Berserk.
Here, you have a go. Oh, thanks. It's a pleasure.
Atari. Simply more fun and games.
Once upon a time, there was a book full of people longing to be heard. Then a witch turned it into Storyteller, a collection of books with 45-minute cassettes so children can listen while they read The Shoe Tree.
Our trees grow in boots.
The Hare and the Tortoise.
Hare raced away.
The continuing adventures of Gobblino.
And fished Gobblino out, dripping wet.
Fortnightly, with 7 complete stories, Storyteller turns into a unique children's library. Storyteller. Such a good idea. It speaks for itself.
Magic!
Peugeot Talbot and their dealers are transforming car buying with their fair deal promise. Now when you buy a new car from any Peugeot Talbot dealer, the price you see is the price you'll pay to drive away. With delivery, number plates, 6 months tax and a tank of fuel all included, plus the unique double cover of extra care and 6-year anti-corrosion warranties. With all this, the new Talbot Solara 1.3 LE costs just $4,295 and the new Peugeot 305 GL Estate just $4,995. It's a better way to buy a car.
And that's a promise.
From your Peugeot Talbot dealer. So talk to him now.
Whenever I get hungry, my magic takes on a special twist. Kellogg's Super Noodles. A twist of the wrist. And it's bangers with a twist. Or burgers, and sometimes, whoops, it's fish with a twist. The magic is in just 4 minutes, Super Noodles twist to something irresistible. Kellogg's Super Noodles at a Super Twister mealtimes.
When you really appreciate your food, why not show it? Let's have a big hand for fish and chips. How about a round of applause for hamburgers? Now let's hear it for the good old banger. Not forgetting, of course, fish fingers. And last but not least, a really big hand for the great British breakfast.
Henry can't open his mouth.
He's going for a filling.
One? Bet you'd rather have none. Try Colgate. Tastes smashing. And what Colgate and every dentist really want is 0 fillings.
Could that happen one day?
Colgate hopes so. Already Colgate's advanced fluoride system means no other toothpaste comes closer to 0 fillings.
That's what I want.
Nobody's working harder than Colgate for 0 fillings.
I am a Philips video game. Are you skillful enough to navigate in the depths of hyperspace and outfight a constant stream of alien spacecraft? You will need to be deadly accurate and have lightning reactions.
Freedom Fighters. One of a cluster of new video games from Philips.
For perfect sweet and sour pork, take pork chops and a can of Home Pride sweet and sour cooking sauce. Then let the sweetness of pineapple and flavor of carrots cook slowly into the meat and effect transformation, turning plain pork into
Sweet and sour pork cooking sauce style.
Cooking flavour with cooking sauces. From Home Pride, of course.
Dear Portland, if only I had your number, I'd phone you now.
If you don't ask for our summer brochure, you won't get it. So ring 01 388 1122.
Oh, Poppy, Daddy says we can't keep our kittens. But the poor little things mightn't get cat meat somewhere else. Mummy says you all like cat meat because it's made with only good things.
Well, look how firm it is, and meaty. And there are 8 different ones to choose from.
I wish I were a cat. You get more variety than you do with Mummy's cooking.
Veronica.
Cat meat. It shows how much you care.
Could you keep it down, Ape Man, old boy? You're ruining the Mozart. Can't we tempt you to a Holsten Pils? It's brewed in Germany, and most of the sugar turns to alcohol, you know, making it strong, yet smooth. Oh, looks like Ape Man's had too many coconuts.
Holsten Pils. The odd thing is drinking anything else.
Kentucky Fried Chicken are doing an amazing deal for families right now. The Family Feast. You can take away 8 pieces of chicken and 4 portions of chips for just $3.99. So you can feed a family of 4 for £1 a head.
The Kentucky Fried Chicken Family Feast.
And with a bargain like that, you just can't go wrong.
Yeah, the bloke in 146 wants 3 shredded wheat.
3?
100% whole wheat nourishment packed into shredded wheat.
Thanks, love.
Who can eat more than 2?
There's a fox in here somewhere.
Just starting on Channel 4, the first in a new series of comic stories starring Peter Bowles as the Irish RM.
But here on Thames in a moment, we'll be going over to ITN.
On Sunday night at 7:15, just when you thought it was safe to go back in the water.
You've no idea what could have caused this.
I don't know what could have done that.
The British television premiere of Jaws 2.
But I'm telling you and I'm telling everybody at this table that that's a shark. And I know what a shark looks like because I've seen one up close. And you better do something about this one because I don't intend to go through that hell again.
The last year has been an exhausting one for Thompson Holidays. We've checked the bedrooms in Benidorm, the plumbing in Poros, the fish in Sardinia. We've tried the local transport in Egypt, the swimming in Sicily, the views in Jamaica. At Thompson Holidays, we check every facility in every place we go. And as we go to more places than anyone, you should find something that suits you. Thompson Holidays. You don't have to hope for the best.
You know it when you look, it must be Danish. And when you hear that they can cook, you know it's Danish. And that Danish smell is another way to tell it from the rest. Must you sweet, then you...
There's a fox in here somewhere.
Just starting on Channel 4, the first in a new series of comic stories starring Peter Bowles as the Irish RM.
But here on Thames in a moment, we'll be going over to ITN.
On Sunday night at 7:15, just when you thought it was safe to go back in the water.
You've no idea what could have caused this.
I don't know what could have done that.
The British television premiere of Jaws 2.
But I'm telling you and I'm telling everybody at this table that that's a shark. And I know what a shark looks like because I've seen one up close. And you better do something about this one because I don't intend to go through that hell again.
The last year has been an exhausting one for Thompson Holidays. We've checked the bedrooms in Benidorm, the plumbing in Poros, the fish in Sardinia. We've tried the local transport in Egypt, the swimming in Sicily, the views in Jamaica. At Thompson Holidays, we check every facility in every place we go. And as we go to more places than anyone, you should find something that suits you. Thompson Holidays. You don't have to hope for the best.
You know it when you look, it must be Danish. And when you hear that baker cook, you know it's Danish. And that Danish smell is another way to tell it from the rest. First you see it, then you...
Well, on BBC Two shortly, there's part 3 of the story based on some characters and incidents in A Shepherd's Life by W.H. Hudson, Bread or Blood.
Entertainment for Easter Monday on BBC One. At 5:30, the Robert Brothers International Circus gallops into action with all the traditional excitement and suspense of the big top. At 6:30, Larry Grayson's Easter Generation Game. At 7:20, Where Eagles Dare, starring Clint Eastwood and Richard Burton.
Lieutenant, drop that gun. What? Drop that gun and sit down.
At 10 o'clock, Dave Allen.
Vicar, from here it looks like there's a tree growing out of your head. Could you move to your right, please? Thank you.
At 10:50, Perry Como's Easter by the Sea with Kenny Rogers and Debbie Boone. Entertainment for Easter Monday on BBC One.
Well, in 10 minutes on One, every man investigates the drama and the controversy surrounding the Passion Play performed during the summer season every decade at Oberammergau in Germany. First, the news with Peter Woods.
On a day of demonstrations in Northern Ireland, 2 die in an incident involving an army vehicle. Mrs. Thatcher flies to Saudi Arabia, Britain's first Prime Minister to go there. And in London, the Easter Parade brightens up a grey day. In Northern Ireland, 2 teenagers died and a number of people were injured in an accident involving an army vehicle near the Bogside area of Londonderry. It happened during rioting, which followed a Republican parade in the city. The parade was one of a number held throughout Northern Ireland by both Republicans and Loyalists to mark Easter Day. The Republicans were demonstrating in support of IRA hunger striker and newly elected MP Bobby Sands. He's said to be in no immediate danger of dying, but the IRA have warned of renewed violence which would follow his death. On the day's events from Belfast, Clive Ferguson.
The police say that they're investigating the road accident, which they say happened during rioting in Londonderry. A BBC journalist who was at the scene at the time, at the bottom of a hill near the Catholic Bogside area of Derry, says that a crowd of about 200 people had gathered there. There had been rioting in the area, and many of the crowd were carrying stones. Then he says that he saw 2 army Land Rovers coming over the brow of a hill at a speed what he estimated to be about 50 miles an hour. The crowd began to scatter, but he says the Land Rovers didn't appear to slow down, and one hit several people, throwing at least one person into the air. A number of people were taken to hospital, where 2 of them later died. The police and army have been on the alert all day in Londonderry because of the Republican parade through the city, but they had to deal with only minor outbreaks of violence until some hours after a crowd of about 1,500 people, who also attended a rally after the parade, had dispersed. The Derry March was only one of many throughout the province today. A much larger parade by Republicans in West Belfast also took place, with only a few reports of minor stone-throwing incidents. As at all today's rallies, the condition of Bobby Sands, now on his 50th day on hunger strike, got much of the attention in speeches at the graveside at the end of the parade. Tonight it was the turn of the Loyalists to hold a rally in the village of Balachi in County Londonderry. About 200 people gathered in the main square. A rival Republican march was prevented from going through the centre of the village by large numbers of police, who effectively sealed off all roads leading into the town.
The Archbishop of Canterbury, in his Easter Day sermon, said there was nothing inevitable about racial conflict. The deepest truth of Easter was that Christians had the resources with which to challenge the fatalists. Dr. Runcie was speaking at Canterbury Cathedral. He referred to the peaceful Holy Week procession through the streets of Notting Hill in London only hours after the Brixton riots. It drew together a good-humoured, multiracial crowd of about 3,000 and was an expression of the work of reconciliation which had been going on in recent years in Notting Hill. The Archbishop said the event might have been given more media coverage, for we were in danger of poisoning ourselves with bad news. And it was sometimes projected in such exaggerated and aggressive language that the voice of moderation could not be heard. In Rome, a crowd of 200,000 gathered for the Pope's traditional Orbi et Orbi message. Pope John Paul wished for peace in his native Poland and gave Easter greetings to the world in 42 languages.
Espressione inglese, a blessed Easter to you all, in the joy of the resurrection of our Lord Jesus Christ.
Mrs. Thatcher has had a meeting with King Khalid at the start of her 3-day visit to Saudi Arabia, the first by a British Prime Minister. She flew to Riyadh after completing her visit to India. Our correspondent Keith Graves is travelling with her.
Mrs. Thatcher was doing something she revels in, making history. Wearing a full-length dress and hat as a concession to the Muslim faith, she became, as she was greeted by Crown Prince Fahad, the first British Prime Minister to visit the Gulf and, perhaps more significantly, the first woman political leader to be received by the Saudis. The Saudis are used to important visitors. When you control 15% of the world's oil, all sorts of people want to be friendly. But Mrs. Thatcher comes in a slightly different category, because she's one of the few leaders who hasn't come, cap in hand, asking for some special deal on oil, she has her own, or to beg for money. She's here to do some hard talking about her ideas on Gulf security and to lay the foundations for a major British export drive that could result in billions of pounds worth of orders for British goods and know-how. And the impressive lineup of princes and ministers who greeted her showed the Saudis do mean business.
Fighting has flared up again in Lebanon. 16 people are reported to have been killed in Sidon when right-wing Phalangist militia fired an artillery barrage into the city centre. The attack followed a number of incidents, including the death of 3 Christian militiamen in a landmine explosion. 2 white men have been killed in Zimbabwe as the country celebrates 1 year of independence. 1 man was shot dead by a lone gunman at his home in a Salisbury suburb. The other man was found stabbed to death in a separate incident also in the capital. Philip Hayton reports now on the anniversary ceremony.
They came from all over Africa to make a song and dance about Zimbabwe's first birthday. It was a celebration and a tribute to the Prime Minister, Robert Mugabe, who over the past year has guided his country with an enviable sureness of touch. His pragmatic approach has won him the loyalty of the white military commanders, who are now prepared to fight with their former enemies. The past year's top priority has been to blend the 2 rival guerrilla armies with the former Rhodesian security forces. Not everyone joined the celebrations. The former Prime Minister, Bishop Muzorewa, was there, but there was no sign of Ian Smith. Some whites were not far away from the festivities, doing what they've always done on a public holiday. Many of them thought life wouldn't be worth living under black rule, but the past year has certainly changed most of their minds. Philip Hayton, BBC, Lake Macklewain, Zimbabwe.
Michael Holding, the West Indian bowler most feared by the England Test batsmen, has played his first match for his new team, Rishton, in the Central Lancashire League. It was a very different game from the recent Test series, in which Holding, regarded as the fastest bowler in the world, took 17 wickets. One of them was Jeff Boycott's. But today, Holding was on the losing side.
Wearing protective helmets seen for the first time in the league, Police Sergeant Mike Everett and salesman Peter Ashworth went out to face Holding. The West Indian paceman had reduced his run partly out of necessity. His normal 42 paces would have taken him past the side screen. This was no Caribbean cricket. Temperatures were 40 degrees down on those Holding had left in the West Indies. The crowd of 2,000 was 10 times Rishton's average. The club's said to be paying him around £8,000 for the season, and Lancashire will borrow him for midweek games. But Ramsbottom were doing what England couldn't. They were keeping Holding out. But then, after changing to the other end, success for Holding. Everett clean bowled for 30.
Despite today's colder weather, there were again traffic jams on many roads around holiday resorts and beauty spots. In London, the highlight of the day was the annual Easter parade.
The spectacular parade, led by the band of the Scots Guards, brightened a drab, overcast day for more than 50,000 onlookers who lined the 2-mile route in Battersea Park. 70 Texan girls, who make up one of the best drill teams